Hi guys. I've gone the full hog today and in this hot weather painted myself with fake blood. Hi Lauren. I just had you in. Hi Emma. Hi Amy. Hi Karen. Right, just hopefully I do this right. Have I done it right? Have I? Hi Lauren. I was like, have I done it right?
I know it takes forever.
I know. I'm like, oh, I've got a bit used to it over the last few weeks, but I don't know who I added in now. Josh, hi Josh.
Hello.
I've gone like the full hog with the
I love it.
blood.
You look brilliant.
I don't normally do stuff like this, but like you've all inspired me over the past few weeks, and I thought, no, I'm going to do it. Apart from I've made myself feel a little bit. Hi,
Oh, wow. That's so good.
Emma, that's so amazing. There's me with my like.
You're covered in
It's
blood.
like honestly, it's like everywhere.
Oh my god.
And the t-shirt was white, but I dyed it with tea bags, so it was like
That's
a
brilliant.
muddy colour.
Oh my
True
god.
horror
The
fan.
creativity.
As I say, I don't normally do stuff like this, but you've all inspired me over the past few weeks, and I thought, no, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But I've made myself feel a bit sick because this blood stuff really does smell a little bit. I was like looking in the mirror, and I was like, oh no, I'm not.
What have I done?
I went to go outside as well. I'm digressing from the chat, but I went to go outside, like the back garden, and my husband was like, no, don't come out. They're going to think that I've done something and call the police.
People be rushing over. Are you okay?
Yeah. The hot weather has got you.
Oh, God, honestly, it's so hot.
So
if anyone can't hear me, let me know, because I have got a fan on behind me because I'm in this tiny box room and it's like a sauna. So just let me know if you can't hear me. But welcome. Oh, Emma, you look so good.
So cute. I just thought it's the final. Let's go nuts.
Yeah, so welcome everyone. Welcome Lauren, Josh, and Emma. Final Fear Street chat for 1666, which came out on Monday. Spoilers ahead. If anyone's joining in the chat, there will be spoilers. I did forget to say that in the very, very first chat, apparently. So spoilers. Yeah. And if you are joining in, then comment as well, and I'll try and read them out if I can keep up. So guys, like 1666 then, have to say the full moon rises before the nightfall. To everyone.
I forgot what the comeback is.
I was hoping that.
What's the rest of it? I've completely forgot what it is, sorry.
It's all right, I'll just look silly. Nothing.
Just pretend that we said it back.
Oh yeah, guys. Meet you later. So we'll start off then. What did we think of them using the same actors in the 1666 that they used in the other films? What did you think, Josh?
Oh, I loved it. I love it when they kind of play around with that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I love that it was sort of like completely colorblind, you know, characters playing sort of outside of the traditional, you know, in a tiny village in America, they wouldn't have been that diverse. So I love that they really mixed it up like that. And I love that it was pure like showing, not telling. It was literally Dina discovering this history that has impacted her life and the life of her town. I just think it was such a great way for us to feel like this film's connected to the other ones and that the characters are learning something. I just thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
Really clever.
Yeah, definitely. It had that kind of, what was the film? Is it New World? Correct me, anyone, if I'm wrong. I think it's got Colin Farrell in
Farrell
it.
one.
Yeah.
With
the like rotten fruit and things like that. It just felt like that to me. I was like, oh, it felt really, really like that. What did you think, Emma, of them using the characters, the same actors? Sorry, not characters.
I just loved it because it just felt like a journey then, didn't it? It felt like we were going all the way through with them. And yeah, I know that it was, you know, you did see the real witch there in flashes, and I think that was really well done because obviously we know it's Dina, but it's not Dina. But yeah, no, I loved it. I love seeing them all again and then just going, oh look, you know, like that. So yeah, I think it was brilliant. I think it was really well done. A good choice.
Yeah, definitely. And Ed's put, I love that they did that, reusing actors as like Dark Shadows. I haven't seen much of Dark Shadows. I don't know whether anyone else has, but I'll have to check that out. I know about it, but I've just never really watched much.
Yeah.
How about you as well, Lauren? What did you think about that, about the actors?
I really liked it. I thought it was a creative way to like get us to still like see the same character or actors that we saw before and maybe like relate to them in a different way, even though that they weren't the same characters. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun and it was nice to see, like, especially the actress who played Dina. I felt like I could not stand her as Dina, honestly, but I loved her as Sarah, and I love to see that difference between the two.
Yeah, and I kind of liked, I can't take credit for this because it was actually my husband who came up with this, but he said that, you know, when the pastor kills the children in the church, that the characters that we know were all the characters that lived in the other films, and I didn't pick that up until he said that. But I think he read that on Google. I don't think he came up with that. Yeah, so there was like, I can't remember their names in 1666, but Josh and then obviously Ziggy. They die in that church, and obviously in the other films they live. So there was like a bit of a But as I say, I think he Googled that. I don't think he came up with that on his own.
He wanted to impress you.
Yeah. He did. I was like, oh, you're getting into this a little bit. So how did you feel about the accents? That,
I was going to ask about that. I was like, where are they? Where are they from?
I was a bit confused. I don't know about you.
Are they Irish or not Irish? I couldn't really tell.
Yeah, that's what I thought, Irish.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very mixed. I think I texted my friend Amy, who was buddy watching it with, and I was like, are they Irish? Or I'm really confused.
Irish American.
It really threw me. But I think they did an okay job, like better than what I could ever do anyways.
Oh, yeah.
Definite flashbacks to like David Boreanaz in Angel.
Oh, God.
Oh no, Liam. Oh, Liam. Oh, Buffy.
That's such a good example.
I'm a vampire.
You're too good at this, Josh. Like, if they bring Buffy back, we know who to cast.
for ridiculously bad accents, call this guy.
Oh, don't.
I thought the kids did well, though. I couldn't do it. I couldn't put on an accent like that. I thought they did really, really well because I was just like, oh, accents, and how are they going to get all these kids to do them? But they did do them. I was like, okay.
Yeah, no, it was. When I got used to it after a while, and I didn't notice it so much. And then, and I have to say, you know, last week when everyone, you weren't here last week, Lauren, but everyone was really shocked that I didn't like Nick Good.
Oh yeah.
I
was like,
strong intuition then.
She knows.
Shirley said.
No, I didn't know anything, and I didn't like.
But you didn't like Tommy. Didn't like Tommy either, did you? Very much, because he was quite sweet in 1978. Tommy, you didn't like him.
Is he the Axeman?
He's the one who was. Yeah. But when he was just like being normal. You liked him as a killer, but not as his normal self. He didn't like him. And then
normal Tommy.
He was this horrible drunk.
Kind of a sexy drunk. No, we won't go there.
He was pretty greasy in this one.
Yeah, he was.
Oh dear. Yeah,
he was great. I thought he was so good in this one. Really creepy, sinister.
Yeah, I think he's quite one of the standout actors in the whole of the trilogy, to be honest. But unless that's just my sexy axe murderer mind. This has took
Oh,
a
honey,
very
you got
weird
some blood on
turn.
me. Oh, it's fine. Don't worry.
I've been like, more. So I didn't like Nick Good, and rightly so. Did I not like him? There was just something
You were
about
right.
Solomon, evil Solomon.
him.
Was it Dustin who said that though, Shelley? Was it Dustin who said? Did he predict that?
Yeah, Dustin said. Lauren will probably know a bit about this as well. So I think Dustin said it was going to be the Mayor Good, because I think in one of the books.
So it's almost there.
Yeah. But I do feel a bit sorry for like the book fans, really, because it didn't stick to any of the. From what I know, I mean, I'm not an expert by any means, but as far as I know, it didn't stick to any of the book story or anything, or the mythology. So I really feel for the fans that have been fans for years, who were like really looking forward to like Fear Street, and then obviously, but as a trilogy of films, I really enjoyed it. But I do feel sorry for the book fans. I feel this.
Didn't Dustin do a post yesterday saying, "I'm calling it the Shady Side Chronicles rather than the Fear Street
which
films"?
I think is like, actually think it should have been called the Shady Side Chronicles. I think that actually is better. See, Dustin needs casting as like one of the writers. You would have got that.
Yeah.
But I'd feel the same way if it was like Point Horror, and then they just like changed everything in like one of my favourite Point Horror books. It must be really like hard to like digest. But he still needs to read some of the books. So we've said before that a lot of us in the UK, I've read a couple, but not. Point Horror was more big in the UK than Fear Street. But I think we're getting like reprints over here, not reprints of the original, but like bind ups now and things like that. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. So with regards to the I'll stick to 1666 and then we'll move on to the part 2. But the score of 1666, I believe it was like an original score. What did we think of it? I thought it was really eerie and creepy and like set the mood. What did everyone else think? What did you think, Lauren?
I really enjoyed it. I think it was the best music of like the whole trilogy. I just think everything that they did artistically with 1666 was really good.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had to add a notification come down. I was just swiping it off.
I just
Sorry.
did too. At the same exact time.
I was like, oh no. What did you think, Emma, with the score? I thought it was like it's just creepy. It was just creepy.
Yeah, I thought it fit much better than before. You know, I kind of didn't like the action adventure of the previous 2 films. But I think this time I didn't notice that it was out, that there was anything wrong with it. There wasn't, you know, it just seemed to fit. It didn't seem out of place at all. I really liked it. I was completely absorbed. So
it was quite moody, like really set the tone.
Yeah, it was nice to have a break from like this kind of soundtrack pop hits jumping in. It was nice to just like, you know, just ease into it with like a really traditional score. It was kind of like The Witch. The 2015 film, it had that kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
Like very traditional, old school horror.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, it was cool.
And I read somewhere that I think the composer, no, I might be wrong, but the composer was the same, not the same, but they took inspiration from Midsummer, which I think you watched last night. I think, didn't you?
I watched Midsummer, on Friday. Yeah.
Oh, Friday. Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently they took inspiration from that for the score. Yeah. Can you see that? I haven't seen Midsummer, but
yeah, it's very decent. It's a bit more disturbing than Fear Street. Be warned.
I need to watch it. Do I need to watch it? Is there lots of dead bodies? Will I be happy?
There are some dead bodies, but it's really not very nice. So prepare.
Like behind the couch type of one.
Yeah,
I'll watch
yeah.
it and then I'll blame all of you for saying who's watched it. So like favourite scenes in the 1666. So what was everyone's like favourite moment or favourite scenes? How about you, Emma?
It had to be when they walked into the church and the priest was just there and he was like, what was it who was banging against? Was it his cane or something? He was banging against the thing and
It's like,
and his eyes were
yeah,
gone and then everybody's eyes was gone and I was just like, oh no, oh, you know, all the kids. I was just like, no, this is awful. But yeah, and then they all started dropping on the floor when everyone started running in. I was like, oh, you know, like, and poor old Josh. I
yeah,
was like, oh no, no, no. So yeah, that was probably from that part. And obviously I had favourites from then the part 2 that came after it. So in
yeah.
1666,
I'll
that was
ask you
definitely
about
my
that.
most creepiest one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. That was really creepy, and I don't like eye stuff and things like that, so that really gets me. How about you, Lauren? Did you have a favourite scene?
Yeah, mine was, and I don't know exactly when this was. I have a terrible memory. But it's when Hannah is like, they've pretty much like tied her up at this point, and it's Sarah finally like gets to her and tells her like, I'm just gonna become a witch, essentially. Like, she was just angry and like wanting to take, you know, matters into her own hands, and she could. And specifically the line where she said like, I am no lamb, I really loved that. So that
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
definitely. And I think Sarah Fear as like a character, I just loved her. I think
yes,
I think she might
too.
actually be my favourite character.
Oh,
Ah.
wow.
Which,
In the whole
yeah,
trilogy.
yeah.
Yes,
Wow.
I just liked the way it twisted it. But then I also
yes.
just liked the way that she was. She was so like strong and loyal and like, I don't know. I just really, really liked the
She
way
was
that
a
she
really good
was.
character, I think. The
Yeah.
way that they
Yeah.
wrote her, and I don't know, I just really loved her. I think she was my favorite too of the whole series.
Yeah. It's like, just straight away, I was just like, I really, really like her. And I know she wasn't in like all 3 films, but she's
Yeah.
just topped my favourite
Mhm.
character. How about you, Josh? Did you have a favourite scene?
Yeah, actually, mine is exactly the same as Lauren's. I really loved that scene. It was really, that was like such a stirring moment for Sarah. And I loved that this film kind of brought it back full circle to be about this relationship between these 2 women. And it kind of, the thing that I loved about 1666 was the way it turned the Crucible into basically like a witch hunt, but for like, what they call like sexual deviants, they called them back then. So it's like, it's not actually about hunting for a witch necessarily. It's actually about hunting for, you know, an LGBT identifying person. And I just love that that scene really encapsulates that feeling where she's like, if they want a witch, they can fucking have a witch. It's
Yeah.
brilliant. Yeah, so good. Loved it.
Yeah, I really loved
Yeah.
it.
But do you think it was also about a woman turning a man down? Like that famous quote from,
Yes.
is it Margaret Atwood? Like,
Yeah.
men are scared men are afraid that women will laugh at them, and women are afraid that men will kill them. And I thought that resonated
Yeah,
hugely because it was him, wasn't it, who went in and said, I've seen what they've done, and it's like, oh, no, you know, all because he was turned down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
no,
definitely a
that's
big part of it.
yeah,
what
that's
a
a really
loser.
good point. Yeah, I know. God, men.
Sorry, Josh.
Sorry, guys.
Present
Right.
company excluded.
It's
Yeah.
true, you know.
Yeah.
Oh dear. And I kind of loved how, like, this sounds really bad. I liked the whole cutting off the hand scene. Not for like
Oh,
bloody gory purposes, but that whole scene was like really like
It was
like the
shocking.
whole way
it
through.
just cut. It like ripped off.
then
It was great.
that whole scene, like I thought it couldn't get any worse, and then obviously you know the hand's gonna come off. But like, how they did it was just like, bleh.
Yeah.
But the
It
reason
so
why,
effectively like twists the expectations. Like I love that. In Scream 3, when Jamie Kennedy gives you the rules of a trilogy, and he basically, the main thing is like something that you thought was true from the beginning is not true at all. And I love that
Yeah.
this film completely plays into that. And like, she's not a witch, and she didn't cut off her own hand. All of the stuff that we've just assumed, it's completely phased, not real.
Yeah, that was a good
Great.
twist. And I liked how like all the bits tied together, like so where the hand was left was like in the rocks where I forgot her name now, but where the other girl found
Oh, Sam.
so yeah, was it Sam? Oh, I can't remember. The one with the short hair in the 19th century.
Right?
Alice, yeah, that
Yeah.
I'm terrible with names. So.
I'm so bad with names. Like honestly, it's so bad. So well done. Yeah, so I liked how like that was where she found the hand and it was left, and then I liked the whole that they moved the body to the other place, and I just really really liked it. Karen's put Sam's blood made all the villains try to destroy her for the 3 movies straight, but her blood was also all over the bones, so why didn't they try to destroy the bones too?
Fair point.
Yeah, they wouldn't have a
Because it's already dead. I don't
That's
know.
a good point though. Yeah.
It is a good point. Yeah.
And Ed's put, I had to suspend a little bit of disbelief with how her hand got cut off.
It was a little too easy, I think.
Yeah, it was a little too easy. I'm not going to test it out. Just to, we won't go that far. And what I also loved as well, I noted down some. Sorry, my fan is like blowing my hair into my mouth, so I keep like. So I like there was like some shadowing and like parallels to like the other films, and I just thought I love it when like books do that, and I do like it when films do nods to stuff, but this one really really did quite a lot. So there was like the bodies lined up outside the church.
Yeah.
I don't know whether anyone else noticed any, but like when Sarah's like lying on her back hitting the floorboards, that was like reminiscent of Cindy coming up the drain. And then also with I don't know what her name was in 1666, but Kate, so whoever she was in 1666.
Yeah, I don't know her name.
Oh, yeah. Villager number 5.
Yeah. So her getting those blueberry drugs and giving them out she called the pills in the first film blueberry pills to the young girls when they're sorting the pills out. And I just thought, it's so clever. Like, so I don't know whether anyone else noticed anymore. Did anyone else notice?
No.
But I noticed that they did drugs in every film. Sorry, Lauren.
Oh yeah.
No, they did.
That was like.
But it was even down to like dialogue. There was some like, so the mother of Sam in the 1994, obviously she played the mother in the 1666, and the line when she says, I think I've written it down, something about ruining her daughter's life or something like that. The line is exactly the same as in the first film. I really pick up weird things like this because I don't know why I do, but I do look for like little Easter eggs sometimes because I'm kind of into that. And then
I thought they really thought about it. They really did plan this as a trilogy.
Yeah.
And they kind of did hide these little things that just make it more rewarding to watch them over and over again.
And it just makes it clever, and it's like even like Solomon saying you can always come to me, and I think Nick Good says that in the 1994.
Oh, he does.
Oh,
you picked up on a lot.
Shirley, that's really good that you noticed that.
I like honestly, like I'm like this with books. If sometimes if there's Easter eggs in like a trilogy, I can normally pick them out if I've read them quite quickly, like close together.
You did that when we were reading The Midnight Club as well, didn't you?
Yeah.
You kept picking up all this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I don't remember anything else in life, but I remember like stupid stuff.
The important stuff, Shelley.
It's okay, you don't need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think one more I just wanted to mention was Heather at the beginning, at the very, very start. So when she's saying to Ryan, I think like he's like killing her and she's like, it's me or something like that. And then that's the same when Sam is like, yeah, it's Sam strangling Dina before she comes out of the spell that she's under, and Dina's going, it's me, I think. But I might be wrong.
Yeah.
I have rewatched the film, so that's probably right as well. Anyway, enough of me babbling. Karen's book, was anyone else distraught over the baby piggies? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
They were
awful.
so cute.
Oh my,
Oh,
it was so traumatic.
Yeah.
The
No.
mummy was eating the babies.
Oh no. At the beginning I was like, oh, the little pigs, and I have them as pets. And then I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that escalated. And then, oh, Lauren, you know in Fear Street books, do they normally kill the dog? I think.
Yes.
And then obviously the dog down the well.
Usually
Oh,
all
yeah.
the pets
I got
die
most upset.
on Fear Street. I don't think
Oh,
there's
really?
yeah, even typically cats too. But yeah,
No,
almost
not
any
cats.
book where there's a cat or a dog, they will die.
Oh.
Yeah, as soon as I saw the dog down the well, I thought, oh.
I know, I was devastated.
Oh no, that was so horrible. And they're like, the
We don't care about the people.
I know.
Just the dog.
Yeah.
All the people, die. Animals, no. live.
Off limits.
Yeah.
So we'll move on to, so then it jumps into 1994 part 2, because I do admit, like, I was wondering how we were going to wrap everything up, because we had quite a big of a chunky 1666 section. I actually did say to my husband, I was like, I reckon they're not going to finish it. I reckon they're going to leave it on a cliffhanger because of how much we had.
Because it was
So,
a good
yeah,
hour,
so-
wasn't it? It was like an hour
Yeah,
of
it was-
1666.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it was like
Short.
just over an hour, I think.
Mm.
But yeah, I was a bit like surprised when we had like then the whole 1994 part 2.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously then we flash back to 1994 with Dina, Josh, the older version of Ziggy, and Martin, who, why did they not use him more in the
Yeah.
I know. I love
When he came
it.
back on like Shield, I was like, hooray!
Oh, he was great. He's like, he was obsessed with like Discman, Walkman things, and like, oh, he was brilliant. He was so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wish we'd seen more of him. Yeah, but what did we think of the what was our favourite scene in the 1994 part 2? What was yours, Lauren?
Mine was, and I know most of it takes place at the mall, but
Oh yeah.
I liked, I guess, of the mall scene, how they trapped them in the different stores and just the creativity with that. And seeing a Gadzooks was really exciting for me.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
So I don't know like how it changed from like the 90s to the early 2000s, but it was in the early 2000s, like when I would go there, it was part of Forever 21. But it was just called Gadzooks, and then eventually they just got rid of it and called everything Forever 21. So yeah, it's pretty much like a Forever 21.
Oh, okay, I'm with
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that whole mall scene, I agree. That was like just brilliant. How about you, Josh? What was your favourite scene in
Oh,
the
God.
1994 part 2?
Yeah. My favourite, I don't really know. Like, it's all slightly blurred into one, to be honest. It's just like a massive big fight scene, isn't it, essentially?
Yeah.
I liked it when they snapped off the lights and you saw like the come-ons
Oh yeah.
in neon. That was very like
Neon,
kill us
yeah.
this way kind of stuff. That was really good.
Yeah.
And I liked Josh's line when he has the super soaker and he's like, kill them all or something, or like try not to die, or
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I think that
Try not
was
to die.
Yeah, I swear that's like a Halloween H2O nod, because In
Ah.
Halloween H2O, it's hilarious. One of the characters says to Jamie Lee Curtis, who's obviously like the final girl, they say to her, "What do we do?" And she's like, "Try to live." So I think that line was possibly like a little nod
A
to
little nod
Jamie
to
Lee
that.
Curtis. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. I
Yeah,
love
absolutely.
that.
Yeah.
How about you, Emma? What was your favourite scene in 1994? Can you hear me, Emma? Oh yeah,
Well, it has to be Monster Fight. I
Monster
just loved
Fight.
that. I was like, yeah, they're all gonna fight each other and tear each other to bits.
I love the Monster Fight.
Yeah,
So good.
can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, I'm there. I was just saying it was like Monster Fight. I was like, yeah, go, rip each other to bits. So yeah, I like that. But I also liked the very, oh yeah, wasn't it great? And the quiet part though as well, where they were just walking past and they had to kind of stay quiet,
Oh yeah.
you know?
yeah. Oh yeah, that was quite creepy.
Yes, I got anxious.
Yeah, it was. That really did like ramp up the heart rate. That did. I was like, oh, don't move, don't move.
Yes.
Yeah.
But my favourite bit, and I did put this up because I was just like, it was just
Yeah.
like perfection.
Are we going to see them?
Was the bit where they're setting up the booby traps and they use that brilliant Offspring song over the top of it
Oh
to
yeah.
make them play, and I was just like, I literally jumped off my settee. I was like, yes, because I just thought it was perfect. It's like keep them separated, and like, oh, just whoever came up with that was a genius in my eyes. It made me really happy, and that song was from 1994 as well.
I thought
So I was
about
like-
you. I was like, is this from the right year?
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. So I was like, honestly, whoever came up with that idea, I just love them. Like, because it's probably just me because I'm a bit of a music geek, and like, it just went so well. But the whole setting up the booby trap thing, I
Yeah.
thought was brilliant.
Yeah, I loved when Iggy, wait, Ziggy, sorry, right?
Ziggy, yeah.
Ziggy was like, let's carry him. For the
Yeah.
day. I loved that. I thought that
Yeah.
was such a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that whole scene with Ziggy when she first goes to the mall, when she sees the tree and
My
that.
heart hurt for her.
Yeah, I thought that was quite an emotional scene.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I think it's messed up that they built a mall on top of the camp and left the tree specifically where people died under.
Yeah.
we were saying that last
Yeah.
week, Lauren, about the
Yes.
tree.
And what's funny is in Fear Park, there's that trilogy. They're like opening an amusement park on Fear Street. A bunch of kids were massacred on the land, and they built the park on top of it. And then every night they have people reenacting the massacre as part of like a show. So it made me think of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, Shady Side doesn't care.
I love that.
I love how they actually retained all the tunnels underneath the mall as well. It was like, cool. We need to keep those exactly by the air then, you know?
Yeah.
I know. I don't know much about like building and stuff, but I feel like that would be impossible.
Yeah.
No, definitely. I loved all the tunnel thing. As we were saying last week, it felt very like Goonie-ish. Oh, I'm not sure if we've lost Emma or not.
No. Oh, she's.
Oh yeah, she'll come. I'll send her a request in a minute. So Ed has said he thought the same thing about the Halloween, the H2O reference as well. Yeah, so I'm really liking when people pick things up like that. It's so great. Oh, my face is really big now. Now Emma's gone. Karen's put, when they turn the lights on in the mall, I felt really bad for the poor mall cleaners who will have to clean up all of that paint in the morning.
Oh yeah, but it's invisible, so they won't see the neon stuff. They'll just see, you know, if you leave the lights on, it's invisible.
Oh, yeah,
Done.
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, done. Yeah. And someone's put, hey from Hamburg. Hello.
Hello.
Dread Riding Hood. What a brilliant
Oh wow, that's
username. I
great.
like that. Hello.
Yeah.
So I've lost where I am on my notes. Oh, I have to point out about the CK1 perfume as well. I thought that was just like so
Yes.
90s.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was like really, really 90s. And
Yeah.
I'm just checking if Emma's come back on. I can't see her. I'll keep my eye out and then we can add her back in. And also, do you know what really, it made me shiver. It was only like a split second of a scene. Was when, is it the milkman baddie?
Yeah.
And he gets Ziggy and he like licks her face. Like,
I know,
and
what
I
a
was
little
like,
creepo.
oh, that was just so creepy. I was like, what? No,
And there was
definitely.
a new villain in there that we haven't seen before, wasn't there?
Yeah, the like
What's that?
hood guy.
Yeah, with a completely different thing on his head.
Yeah.
Oh, was that the one that I think we briefly saw for a second in 1978, where he's drowning the
Yeah.
person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
think-
and they don't say
might be
like
wrong.
what his name is or anything,
Mm.
which is
No.
interesting. I feel like they shouldn't have just thrown him in. I don't think we necessarily needed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I'd
all the way
forgotten he was even
along,
there.
yeah, all the way along, I was like, "Where's Ruby Lane?" Because like she was
Mm.
missing for like ages, and the characters actually said that as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was a bit random actually bringing that.
Mm.
That was obviously for the monster fight,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
Like,
Make up
Yeah,
the
that's what
numbers.
it felt like.
yeah. And then this might be a really Shelley, like thick question because we had one of those. You weren't here last week, Lauren, when I obviously didn't understand the ending of 1978,
Oh.
and you suddenly see my face. It dawned on me throughout the chat, and I'm like, wait, hang on.
What are they talking about?
Yeah. So I thought that, just to summarise, I thought that Nick changed Ziggy's name to the sister's name. I don't know why I thought
I'd
that,
forgotten
and
that
I was
part.
like, well, why would the parents not know it's the wrong sister? I was really confused, but anyway, yeah. Obviously, I didn't pay much attention. But tell me if this is a weird thing. So I asked my husband this, and he was just like, "Don't say this on the live chat."
And you just,
So of course.
So so in the first film, Nick Good puts the note through Ziggy's door saying it's happening again. But if he's the one who's caused it happening again, why did he put the note through her door?
Is he
Was it
trying to
just-
trap them because he knows they'll go to her, maybe?
maybe. My theory is, so I have no proof, but this is my theory. Because since he is the one who spray painted like all of the words on the mall and stuff like that, I think he was just trying to like perpetuate a panic about Sarah Fear and almost make it kind of into a joke in a sense, because Ziggy said previously that no one believed her about her stories. So I felt like he did it because no one believed her before, like who would believe her now? And just to kind of get like more of a panic that pulls it away from him and kind of makes it to where people are like, well, she's crazy, and like it's just a bunch of kids spray painting, like it's not that serious. That's my theory, but again,
No, that's a good theory.
that's a good theory actually. Yeah, I was a bit like, is it? I just didn't know. I was like, well,
Yeah.
is it because he cared for her that much, so he was warning her to keep out of the way? Maybe, but
well, typically they say like people who are involved in crimes, even if they're like trying to pretend to not be guilty, they tend to involve themselves in some way with like helping. So that's kind of what I feel like he's doing.
Yeah, like maybe a
that's
control
good.
thing as well. Like he wants to control this whole narrative, so he's staying involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I guess is why he became a cop as well. I was like, why would he become a police officer? But I guess if he's like perpetuating stuff
Yeah.
and hiding in plain sight, that would make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when he meets up with Ziggy at the mall before she carries him, that was quite a charged that was quite a charged scene between them. I actually thought they were going to like kiss or something. That's like I was like, oh, this is going to take a bit of a turn. Yeah, that's just me.
I'm
But
assuming
yeah.
that's like the first time they've seen each other since camp, possibly.
Oh, yeah, possibly.
But they live in
I
a
think
tiny town, don't they?
You would think. I don't know.
Yeah.
although I think they portrayed her that she was quite a bit of a recluse. And then obviously he lived in the posh Sunnyvale, didn't he? Did he? He did, didn't he? He lived in
He must have,
Sunnyvale.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he like was the cop over both towns, was he? I think, I don't know, I'm not sure.
I think so. I genuinely don't understand his
No.
jurisdiction.
Yeah.
And then, so what did we think of the ending? So let's class the ending as when they're down in the tunnels. Let's do like two bits of the ending. So when they're down in the tunnels and they're having all of that fight, and then Dina stabs him in the eye. Why did it have to be eye things? I don't deal with eye
Eye
stuff
for an
very
eye.
well. Yeah. What did we think of all that? Do you think it like tied everything up nicely? Was there any like thing left that you weren't happy with, or that you thought could have been tied up a bit better? Maybe, is that a good question? Not sure. What do you think, Josh?
I really liked it. I thought that maybe the fight was actually quite short comparatively. Like the big stuff upstairs was super epic, and then the fight in the caves actually wasn't hugely sort of epic at all.
No.
But I guess they were going for like contrasting it, kind of.
Yeah, Emma's back.
Oh, she's
Sorry,
back.
everyone.
That's
Hello.
all
I
right.
live in the countryside and all my internet just went down.
I was like, oh, I'll look out for Emma when she comes back. I was just sorry, Josh. Go on.
No, I was done.
I was. I was just saying, Emma. What did we think about like the whole cave showdown kind of thing? Like, so like the ending before the other ending kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
What did
I
you
quite
think?
like that. Yeah, I quite like that. I was like yelling at the TV, throw him in the goo, you know, like that sort. Well, that was the ending, wasn't it? But yeah, I like it. I like the idea that it kept circling back round to the caves, and you know, you had a different showdown in the caves each time. Yeah, I did like it.
Yeah. What about you, Lauren? Did you like that whole ending?
Yeah, I did. I kind of wish, I don't know, I really wanted the Carrie thing to work out. But because I feel like he deserved a harsher punishment than what he got. But I did like it. I felt like everything tied up really easily and neatly, and it kind of showed like this one for me really showed how they set up everything, that like I want to go back and watch them all in a row now because of how they set it up.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah, because that reveal that he's actually the bad guy, you can see when it shows the clips from like 78, it's like, oh shit, yeah, he was completely evil. We just didn't notice.
I know.
Yep.
I knew there was something weird about him.
You did.
I didn't like him. I normally don't get it right, by the way. I'm normally like way off. Kat's put, considering Nick basically sold his soul, he didn't really get much out of it, did he? He got to be sheriff and his brother the mayor. Yeah.
I feel like he wouldn't make a lot of money being sheriff of a small town like that. I mean, I don't know how much sheriffs make in general, but I don't think it's a lot.
It's almost a bit adorable that he had such sort of like small dreams. He did all of this for like not very much outcome.
Yeah. But obviously we get to see I presume it was his house that they come into when they put all their muddy footprints on the white carpet.
Yeah.
And
what was with the goats?
He loved them.
Did anyone notice that?
Yeah. Isn't the goat the sign of the devil?
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, why has he got all these goats? And I was like, I don't get it. That's what it is, obviously.
About what he is into at all.
Yeah. Imagine going round to his house for a cup of tea and then and then you're like, okay. It's like all these goat heads everywhere. You'd be out of there, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And then obviously we saw that whole good family tree on the wall, and that kind of got me a little bit. I was like, because you realise how far back.
Yeah.
Obviously we know it started with Solomon, but then when you see it on that tree, it's like, oh, God, can you imagine? We only know a fraction of the people that died, basically. So the scope there, obviously, for other films, I think, maybe.
Did you read the article about it, Shelley?
No.
Have you read? There was an article about it. Oh, I can't remember where I read it now, but they were saying that it was left open like that for a reason, and if the trilogy's popular enough, they will expand the universe. They want to make it kind of like Marvel, even that kind of big.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I read an article today about, I'll have to find it for you, but I was just like, ooh, and they were talking like TV shows and everything, so I was like, ooh, this is great. So hopefully people liked it enough that they'll carry on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I watched an interview as well, because I did like that Fear Street trivia thing. And
oh, yeah, well done, you won. Well done,
you.
Lauren.
Yeah. But Geeks Out, they were the ones who hosted it, and I think I'm terrible with names in real life too, but Daniel Slater, he did an interview with the director and the writer, and she had made a comment that like evil will always live in Shadyside. And when she was asked about like sequels or continuing anything with Fear Street. So yeah, I hope they do create more. Like, I know it doesn't follow the books necessarily, and I do feel like they paid more homages to like classic horror movies and stuff like that versus the books. But I like the universe that they created. I think it all makes sense, and it was a lot of fun to watch ultimately. Like, once you separate, like, okay, this isn't the Fear Street that I know, but I hope they make more. I would love to see more.
Yeah, definitely. I would really like to see more. But anything like slasher related, that's like my favourite type of horror anyway. I love it. It's my favourite. Like jump scares and things like that, no. But slasher, yes. So I'd love to see more. What about you, Josh? Would you like to see more?
I would, but I wonder if they'll branch out and do more kind of different horror genres, because they've kind of done the slasher thing now. So I wonder if they would move into more like haunted house ghosty stuff, or like werewolves or vampires.
Yeah. So a bit like American Horror Story, where every season they change.
Yeah, like an anthology.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
I feel like
good.
I feel like the whole trilogy was basically Stranger Things meets American Horror Story. So I could see them.
Yeah.
You could still tap into nostalgic stuff, but not necessarily sort of like slasher stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I'd
that's
watch
good
it.
actually. Yeah, I would watch that, definitely. I forgot, while we're talking about the books, I forgot to mention about the whole strapping. Karen's just reminded me.
Yeah.
Strapping the books as like an armour. Like like an armour. But really, like, how would she draw?
Are you going to try it, Shelley? Are you going to try it?
Right, I'll
test it
plug
out.
it and I'll test it. But
Because they're not thick books, are they?
Well, they'd be quite rigid. There was quite a few on there, but like, how did she like crawl down on her hands and knees?
Yeah, you would have to be really stiff. And also the books are not that thick like in real life.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine. I don't know.
It's like when she pulled it off, like Karen's put like she screamed when she opened the shirt and all the books were taped to her like armour. But I was more like, I don't think that would happen in real life. It was very sturdy when she pulled it off, and I was like, well,
That's the thing that wouldn't happen.
Yeah, exactly.
but I liked the touch of doing that. That the books kind of like saved it. Yeah, and like the same as in like initially with Heather in the opening scenes where she uses the book and he kind of stabs it. That saved her the first time round, and I kind of like that.
I like that
whole thing that the book saved her, but practically
books save lives.
yeah, definitely. And then so obviously at the very end, you've got that scene as the credits are rolling. you've got that scene where it's like going back into the mall and things, and then you've got all that police tape. So all the police tape is around there, but they left the book there.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
not right.
Amazing.
The Shadyside cops.
And
Although
then
one
obviously,
cop was dead, so
oh
who
yeah,
put up
that
the police tape?
that
Yeah.
was brutal as well, the killing of those cops.
Yeah.
But I did
Yeah.
kind of laugh a little bit, only because like I just thought it was quite funny the way they were like, throw the pistols this way, and it's like they were like water pistols. Like,
Yeah.
slide them to me, and I was like, this is very serious. You can see they're water pistols.
Yeah.
So anyway, I digress. Gone back. But yeah, so they obviously you see the hand grab for the book. So what are our thoughts? Who do we think that hand was? Josh?
Well,
Oh,
who knows it's down there, I guess.
Yeah.
That's valid.
Like,
What do
maybe
we
it's,
think?
yeah, I don't know. Because it's obviously not
Maybe
going to
it's
be
the
Dina
mayor.
or Sam. Yeah, it could be the mayor.
I thought maybe,
Yeah.
thinking of what Dustin had said before
Mm.
on last week's chat about that it was in the book. I think one of the books, the twist is that it was the mayor. I thought, oh, maybe it's the mayor.
Mm.
yeah, could be.
That'd be
Yeah.
very Buffy-esque.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did like the evil mayor in Buffy. That was
Oh, so
great.
good.
So I'd go for that again.
Yes.
Yeah,
He's
definitely.
wisecracking too.
Yeah.
So thinking about the whole trilogy as a whole, then in the whole trilogy, what is your favourite part in the whole trilogy? Is that really, really hard? I'm
Yeah.
sorry. What was yours, Emma? The whole
Um,
trilogy,
Oh, wow. I don't know. I think
or
I mean, I think-
favourite one of the trilogies. I'll be easier.
I think 1978 was my favourite out of the three. But I think the ending, the 1994 Part 2 ending, I just love that they mixed the blood with the neon and sprayed it all over, and it was just such a great an idea for a trap, and just such a great twist at the end. You know, I think so. Yeah, yeah. But 78 was definitely my favourite out of the three, and then definitely that ending was brilliant. Icing on the cake.
Yeah, no, definitely. How about you, Lauren? Favourite scene over all the three, or favourite out of the three?
Okay, so I would say my favorite scene is in 1978 with Cindy and Ziggy at the end, where like Cindy is pretty much sacrificing herself. I really loved Cindy. I think she was my favorite character because she got a lot of character development for not being a main character at all in the grand scheme. But I did like 1666 the most, just with music, like everything artistically was really great. But yeah, so that was my favorite.
How about you, Josh?
I really loved 1666. I loved that. I thought it was such a great trilogy closer. But I think my favorite scene is still like the opening of 1978, because it just so effortlessly like sets up the time frame and sets up her character. I love that as an introduction to her character, you know, the fact that she's got all these clocks everywhere that are timed around her schedule. And then I love that music plays as you go into the photo of Camp Nightwing. I just think it's so good.
Yeah, it's clever, and the way they do that whole the camera twist angle and
brilliant,
and
and
stuff
the
like that.
bonging
like
clocks
in
and
a
stuff.
sense.
Say that again, Lauren.
It makes me think of It, like the original
Yes.
like
Yeah.
TV series.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
definitely.
Yeah. Cameron's put her favourite scene was the bread slicer.
There's always one.
I don't think we'll forget that bread slicer for many years to come. And then Ed's put he agrees 78 was his favourite. I think 78 was quite a lot of people's favourite. That's quite intriguing. I wonder. It does make me wonder why that is. Is it because we think? I don't know whether this is right what I'm thinking, but when we think of horror, to me, I do kind of think like 70s horror in my head. So I wonder whether that's why it just honed in on the right thing in people's brains. I'm
Yeah.
really not a movie like a movie person, but hopefully you get what I mean.
I think it
Yeah.
just felt the most coherent. Like it had pretty much one setting. It had a group of characters you really loved, great deaths.
Yeah.
It deepened the mythology. I think that it just worked so well as a whole. And summer camps, everyone loves a summer camp horror film.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I think it's mainly as well, I don't know whether I've mentioned this before, but my nan used to, when she used to babysit me and my brother when we were young, far too young to be watching horror films, she just used to put on stuff like Friday the 13th as like casual viewing for us when we were probably about
Love her.
7. I know,
Yes.
bless her.
I think it is like a lot of people's first introduction into horror is
Yeah.
classic, you know, stuff.
Yeah. Well, the first film my nan ever put on when she was looking after me and my brother was The Evil Dead.
oh my God.
So
my God.
now you know why I'm always like, die.
Death.
Is that the first horror film you ever watched? Is that?
Yeah, I would say that's probably the first
my
horror
gosh.
film, that I
Wow.
watched. And I think I was probably, I'm going to say I was like 7 or 8. It was far too young and I did have nightmares. And then I'd say after that it was probably like Friday the 13th, and then
Yeah.
and then my brother really got into like horror films then, so he used to like just put them on for us to watch, and we used to watch like, I can never say this, so please don't laugh at me, but
Go on.
Poltergeist.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, you
can't
said
say
it.
it.
That's right. Poltergeist. Yeah.
That's
I
the best
love
I've ever
those
said
movies.
that.
That's so great.
But I used
Brilliant.
to have, I'm really going off on a tangent, sorry, but I used to have like this clown that, funny enough, my nan had brought me when I was born, and it used to like sit on top of my wardrobe.
Oh my God.
My brother showed me that film, and I had to sleep with the light on for about a month because of this clown.
Oh my gosh.
It
That's
was so
brilliant.
bad.
My
Yeah,
aunt
so-
still has weird dolls in her spare room, and every time I sleep in that room, I have to turn the dolls away so they're not looking at me while I sleep.
Not looking at
It's
you.
freaky. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's so creepy. I'm
It is
weird
weird.
like that as well, because when I got married, I'm really sorry if you're just joining and like hearing my life story. But when I got married, we got married in like a hotel, and it had like a suite. And in the suite, there was this really creepy statue. Like, honestly, if I could have been moved, if there was anywhere else to sleep that night, I would have moved. I'll have to see if I can find a photo. So it was like a floor statue that like lay across the floor and looked directly at the bed. It
Eh?
was weird.
Oh, no.
That
I
sounds
had
like
to
a
We don't
cover
like
it
that.
over. I got like all the towels out of the bathroom. I literally covered the whole thing over.
That's even
before we
creepier.
I know. I feel like
so creepy. It was meant to be like an Egyptian themed room, I think, but it was just like something out of someone's nightmare, and I literally had to like cover it all up. If I can find a picture, I'll send it.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry guys, I've really like gone off on a tangent there. But anyway, I think that is it. But I'm really sad this is our last chat.
I know.
Fear Street's over.
I know.
Or
It's been such an
Yeah.
exciting month.
Or is
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if people have enjoyed the chats, I'll maybe run something alongside Point Horror Book Club to do with like film chats, where you can just see me not understand the film ever. But yeah, if you've like enjoyed it, let me know, and I'll do something along those lines. But guys, it's been like so good, and like thank you for like going along with. Well, it was Emma's idea initially, and we kind of just. Are you playing with the
I
filter?
just discovered there's filters on here.
Love it.
I was like, what's
Oh.
Josh doing?
Oh, there we go. Fake on me.
Yeah, sing, Josh, sing. Oh dear.
Wow.
But yeah, but thank you guys. Honestly, I've loved chatting with you like every week, and like especially like Lauren and like Dustin who came on yesterday. You're all the way in America, so like the timing to try and get the timing right. I really do
well, it's
appreciate
probably
it.
a better time for me than you because it's 11 over here. So.
It's like, well, what time is it here? Nearly 7 o'clock, I'd say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
in the
it's
night,
not
in
too
the
bad. It's
evening.
not that late.
Oh, it's so hot over here as well today.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just
Oh, it's
like
awful.
melting. But yeah, thank you guys. I love
Thank you
you
for
so
having us.
much. Like, thank
Yeah,
you so
thank you,
much.
Thank you,
Shelley.
Shelley.
Really enjoyed
It's been
it.
really
fun.
fun.
And thanks to everyone who's joined in. And some people have already put, oh yeah, I'd watch chats, film chats, Cats, but she'd love the chat. And Amy's put, thank you, these have been great. So yeah, thank you guys. And I'll stay tuned and I'll come up with some ideas and we'll go from there. All right then,
Sounds great.
guys. All right,
Thanks,
thank
Shelley.
you.
See you
Bye,
later.
Emma.
See you
Bye,
later.
Bye.
Lauren.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.